hello, hello.
And welcome to the Hildebrand Law Firm topic for today.
I'm Kirsten Hildebrand.
And I'm Matt Kaplan.
And today we are going to be talking with you about the third of four myths that we have been discussing about estate planning. And it is
The third myth is, why do I need to get estate planning done? My kids will just figure everything out.
I think this is an interesting one because I am a kid and I have had the situation where unfortunately my mom passed away recently. And even with really good estate planning in place done by yours truly, there's still so much to do. It has taken a tremendous amount of time and effort to manage that estate. I can't imagine how much more painful it would have been if we had not had her estate lined up the way it was, and if it had to go into probate, access to funds, all of the issues that would have come along with that. So, as a kid, I'm saying it is really a great idea if you would give your kids the blessing, and I will call it that, and the blessing of doing your estate planning.
Right. And one of the things that I want to equate this to is that when you have, when you're a parent and you have babies, you baby proof the house, because you don't want the kids to get hurt when they don't know what they're doing. You don't want, but mainly too, you don't want to have to go to urgent care at 2 in the morning because they crack their heads open, which is what I did a lot as a kid.
You
And
cracked your head open?
all the time.
No way.
Oh, I would, yeah, I would just constantly be hurting myself. I'll show you the scars later.
Okay, I'm interested now.
I had a brother who was 2 years older than me, and him and I would just beat the crap out of each other just all day long. I think that's why my pain tolerance is so high now.
That's right. That's right.
But when you have kids and the kids are running around, you want to protect things. You've heard the term helicopter parent, bulldozer parent, and those get a lot of negative connotations as depending on the situation. But I think the last gift to your children, if you want to be a helicopter parent, is making sure that that's set up for them. Because I'll have my kids figure it out. 9 times out of 10, the kids don't figure it out in what's the best interest for you and what you would have wanted. The kids figure it out what's the best interest for them. And do they actually figure it out? How often do they actually get together? They say, you know what? This is what mom would have wanted. This is the most diplomatic because she's gone, so she can't tell us what to do with our money. Here's a pot of money that I'm looking at right now. People get greedy. People get greedy. You don't want the kids to figure it out. You want to figure it out for them, like how you have done your entire life. When they were babies, you figured things out for them. When they were kids, you helped them go to school. You helped them choose a college. You helped them all the way throughout life. Why stop now?
One of the things that I really appreciate people figuring out is whether or not the person who is the main administrator, the one who is the trustee or the one who's the personal representative, whether or not that parent wants them to get paid for their time. So this is something that if you are silent about, it is going to result in arguments because there's just a lot of different viewpoints on this. So if the parents get together, or if in the instance of if you don't have children and you just want to make sure that the person who is going to be taking care of your estate is remunerated for their time, you would definitely want to spell that out because then they won't feel guilty or bad or get objections from the other kids or the other beneficiaries when they get remunerated for their time. On the other hand, we come across a lot of families where the parents say, oh, they would never want to be paid. And even in that instance, I'll say, well, they can always decline to be paid, but at least if you say, yes, I do want them to be paid for their time, that you are giving that option to them because they might legitimately really be losing money by not being able to work to their fullest capacity while they're taking care of all of the things that result in the winding down of your estate. So clarifying that really helps a lot when you talk about fighting between kids. Then there's an understanding, and there's no chance that the kids are going to be like, oh, mom didn't want you to get paid, and there's no document that says otherwise, and now you've spent 100 hours doing something that you thought you were going to get paid for, but now you're getting pushback from your other siblings. We have seen that happen. So there are a lot of situations where clarification definitely results in less tension between the children.
Yeah, and also a big issue that kids don't often figure things out in a blended marriage situation,
Mm,
especially a blended marriage with grown kids. Yeah, they might get along, they might know each other, they might know of each other. Um, Maybe they're not friends, maybe they're not friendly, maybe they live two different lives, and maybe their parents got married way later on in life. Um, those situations you should probably not leave to let the kids figure it
mm.
out, because those are the situations in which, especially if one parent came into the marriage with all the money and the other parent didn't, and now the kids of the parent without the money are expecting something from the estate, or the kids of the parent with the money are like, no, that's all of my parents' money. Why would you get any of my parents' money? Then all of a sudden, oh, maybe the kids aren't figuring things out. Maybe there's fighting, and if there's fighting, the only people who wins,
The lawyers.
we win, but everybody loses. But even though we win monetarily, but we lose in the sense for society, because what kind of society does that look like if we just have families fighting
That's exactly
all of the
right.
time? We don't want that, which is why we do estate planning.
That's an excellent point. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And we are so excited that you have listened to the third myth about estate planning. And we are interested in protecting your today and tomorrow. So thanks for joining us.